going to go ahead and rock an amazing General Day Simulator. Okay, so we're on day 3 now. In the last episode, we basically confessed to Zooble, kind of saying that we liked her. I get out of bed and pull out my uniform and brush my teeth and then check my wacky watch. I should be able to make it out of the room in no time to join Zooble and Gangle on their morning walk to school. As I finish up brushing my teeth, I hear a knock at my door. Hey, Gotti, you ready? Coming! I call out, finishing and grabbing my backpack and opening the door. Ooh, yeah, let me rush to see my favorite people. Zooble is leaning against the door frame. Well, Gotti, at least, good to see you. At least you're still here. Wait, what? What do you mean still here? Zooble kicks off my, what? Zooble kicks off my door frame, starting to walk into the cool morning air. I follow after them. What was that supposed to mean? I went to Gangle's door first, but she wasn't answering. We almost always go to school together. They're putting off a cool facade, but I can see some worry in Zooble's gaze. So why not just wait up for her? I say, shivering in the late autumn as cool sets in. If we wait any longer, we'll be late. And I really don't want to hear what Caine would have to say about that. My gosh, I shrug, but I nod as we walk to school. We're leaving Gangle behind? I guess that is his job as a principal, though. Zooble rolls their eyes. Yeah, but Caine is just so annoying about it. They heave a big sigh. He just finds you no matter where you are and won't stop asking you why you aren't at school or teleports you there anyway. There's basically 0 places to hide from him, though. I found that Cole speaks easy under the lounge. She's talking about the bar that we were at yesterday. The lounge while I was looking for a place that he couldn't find me. Wow, looks like they really don't want to be here. But Caine made it. Wait, what? But Caine made it a lot more trouble. Caine made it a lot more trouble than it was worth, so I show up to class anyway just to get him off my back. It's the only way to get rid of him or leave me alone during this free time he lets us have. Well, that's probably not the best attitude to take towards your education, but now it doesn't seem like a good time to bring that sort of thing up. Still, I can't help but think that Zooble was kind of the person my parents warned me about. Wait, what? I'm hoping they were right. I just ignore any perceived red flags as I break into a light jog and keep up with Zooble in my way. I don't know what red flags I'm talking about. Like, what did she say? So that's pretty much my story. They turn to me. How about you, Gotti? Weren't you telling me about your piano playing yesterday? Okay, yeah, we were talking about how we have... Whoa. Yeah, before I confess to having a huge crush on Zooble, hopefully they forgot about that last part, though. Oh, yeah, I maybe said too much yesterday, I say, turning before hiding my blushing face. Zooble shrugs. You don't have anything to be worried about, but I won't make you talk about anything you aren't comfortable with. Suddenly we hear a faint, high-pitched wailing. In the distance, I smile at a familiar figure. Is that Caine? Zooble turns to me, the same thought in their eyes as they race forward. Gangle, what's going on? I sprint to match Zooble's pace. I'm like, no! The scene that greets us is Gangle in her tragedy mask. What did Jax do? Jax stands in front of her wearing a sadistic smirk as he dangles her comedy mask just out of reach. Jax, give it back! She wails. Oh, come on, Gangle. I just caught your mask before you broke it. Don't I get a thanks? He leans forward, his venomous smirk widening on his smug face. Jax, please, give it back! She leaps in the air and the tips of her ribbons brushing against the comedy mask before Jax holds it even higher. Yo, he's bullying her. He chuckles as she stumbles. Wow, he almost got it that time. Zooble walks right up to Jax, arms folded. Oh no. Jax, give it back. Jax turns, giving them an annoyed glance. Why should I? Stop being a jerk. Jax scowls at Zooble. Me and Gangle are just playing in a game, Zooble. Go inside and stop ruining the fun. Gangle doesn't look like she's having fun. Gangle nods her assent to Zooble's observation. Jax rolls his eyes. You want the mask back, Gangle? Gangle nods sadly. Jax extends the mask to her, but as she reaches for it, he whips his arm around and hurls it in the air like a frisbee. Yo! Whoops, it slipped. Yo, what is this problem? Jax! They shout furious. Look at the time. I gotta get to class. Wouldn't want to be late. He looks at Zooble. Don't want Caine on my case about not showing up. You know how that is. Oh my gosh. He grins sardonically at Zooble before he walked inside, giving the three of us the entrance. Gangle chokes out a sob. He's such a... Sorry, Zooble. Gangle interrupts them. I just wanted to be here early for school today so I could work on the art culture festival. But I ran into Jax and I almost tripped and then he took my comedy mask and... She blubbers, beginning to lose control of herself. Zooble puts a comforting claw on her shoulder. None of what happened is your fault, Gangle. I'll go find your comedy mask and go to class so you know how to get marked. Oh, he threw it really far, didn't he? Gangle pauses a moment before hesitantly accepting Zooble's generosity. Okay. Oh, she's just gonna go to class? Okay, Zooble turns to me. You should get to class too, Gotti. We're both almost late as it is. No way I'm letting you look for Gangle's mask alone. For a moment, a look of surprise pieces Zooble's usual facade, but it's for the shortest of expressions. I'm really sure if I blinked, I would have missed it. So yourself. Caine isn't gonna go very easy on you, though. I nod, playing things cool as we walk in the general direction that we walk to where he threw the stupid mask, dude. Okay, so really quickly, let me just say this. So we could have chose to leave her right there, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Obviously, like, that would have made it, like, obviously that's not the right thing to do if we're trying to, you know, get closer to her. Anyways, we look for the mask. Her mask is pretty fragile, so it's probably broken, dude. Well, I hope it's in one piece. Zooble's expression contorts into anger, clutching their claw hand. I could wring Jackson's neck for the way he treats Gangle. Well, at least you stand up to him. I mean, someone has to. They try to brush me off, but I don't relent. No, seriously, I mean, it's kind of cool of you to stand up for Gangle like that. She's lucky to have a friend like you. Zooble blushes a bit. You think so? Totally. Anyone who has a friend like you to stand up for them is really lucky. Okay, I'm pretty sure I already said this before. I might be wrong, but I literally said this is the reason why I like Zooble. Like, because you know if she protects her friends, how much more is she going to protect somebody that she loves? Like, let's be honest, guys. That's why she's kind of one of the best people to fall in love with. Anyway, I give them a smile. Zooble's blush intensifies as they turn away. Well, you know, it's kind of just that I stand up to him because nobody else will. Which is the reason why it makes it so impressive, Zooble. Golly, I'm really not all that. Before they can continue, I notice a light glinting off something in the distance. Hey, wait, is that a... Zooble turns, relieved at the momentary distraction. Gangle's comedy mask. As we near the area where the light is glinting off the mask, we see where it landed. Oh no, it's in the pool, dude. The mask is floating in the school swimming pool, which just so happens to be locked in this morning and is surrounded by a wire fence. I didn't even know there was a pool in this game. Wait, this school has an outdoor pool? Zooble shrugs. Yeah, it's where swim team practices in the summer. I didn't even know we had a swim team. Zooble has already begun to scale the fence, making their way to the other side before I can start climbing. They bend over the school's edge, eyes following Gangle's comedy mask as it floats in the water. Ugh, too far out to reach. As I make my way over to the fence, Zooble looks around for something to catch the mask with. Dude, is one of us gonna fall in and get wet? I already see where this is going. There's gotta be a net or something around. No need, I'll get it. I'm gonna get in there. I say before I can think of what it would mean to follow through on that. No way, Gotti, that water has to be freezing. Before Zooble can talk me out of it, I'm already stripping down to my underwear. What am I doing? Zooble averts her gaze. Hey, Gotti, nobody wants to see that. Put your uniform back on. I'll be quick. I give them a nervous smile. The words are so much to steal my own resolve as they are to reassure Zooble. It's now or never. What? I take a deep breath and dive headfirst into fragile water as it's definitely freezing. The cold water hits my limbs all at once. When I surface, I have to bite back a swear. It's a little chilly. I manage through chattering teeth. Zooble gives me an incredulous look, barely able to look at my barely clothed form. I told you not to. I swim forward as fast as I can. I'm not a great swimmer though, so it's more of a desperate flail as I make my way towards Gangle's comedy mask. The cool porcelain of the mask brushes my fingertips, and with a few more strokes, I manage to grab it. Gotcha! I cry out in a triumphant as I make a beeline for the swimming pool's edge. Zooble lends me a hand, still averting their gazes as they help me out of the pool. Gotti, crazy, you know that? However, the cold water the autumn wind is even colder. Okay. Zooble blushes as they occasionally glance at me, standing there soaking wet in my underwear. I'll give you a towel, okay, Gotti? That would be really nice, I chatter. Zooble disappears for a moment in the nearby shed before bringing me out an armful of towels. Oh my gosh. They drape one across my shoulders and wrap the other towels around my head and body. Why did you do that? They laugh incredulous. I try to be quick about drying myself off. You think if I get dry quick enough, we can... Zooble shakes their head, cutting me off. We're already late to class. Take your time. I sigh. Sorry, Zooble. I know that you said Caine annoys you when you don't show up. They shrug. I don't really care about that right now. They look at me. Judging by Zooble's eyes, I think they might actually be grinning. I kind of actually had fun. I smile back, drying myself off before changing back into my uniform. fun. By the time we make our way back to the school building, the lunch bell is ringing. Oh my gosh, it's already the middle of the day. I guess we missed first period. My parents would be really ashamed of me if they could see me right now. Zooble, however, seems unbothered, giving a bored shrug at the news. Oh well. Oh, Gangle's here. As we walk back to the homeroom, we see Gangle heading out. We have produced Gangle's comedy mask, handing it over to her. Hey Gangle, here you go. Sorry about checks this morning. She looks up at me with a gentle smile, her ribbons pressed together in a gesture of gratitude. Wow, thanks guys. She takes the mask, affixing it to her face before giving us a big smile. Was it too hard to find? Zooble and I exchange a glance. Zooble lets out an awkward chuckle. Just be careful with it, okay? Gangle is already turning back to walk to the art room. Now that everything's fixed, let's go work on the art for the Culture Festival. Well, I'm glad she bounced back so quickly. Zooble and I follow her. We're just setting up for work on our art as Ragatha pokes her head into the art room. Woo! Hey, Ragatha! I really do like Ragatha. Anyway, she gives us a friendly wave and a smile before turning to Zooble. Zooble, can I talk to you for a second? She asks, nervous at the perceived imposition of her own request. Zooble shrugs neutrally. Oh, she's talking to Zooble. I keep mixing up Zooble and Gangle. Okay, what's up? Zooble gets up, but from where they are, Ragatha is standing. I can hear everything. So, Caine dropped a lot of things on my plate at the last minute. Apparently he wants live music performances at the Culture Festival. Zooble rolls their eyes, sighing. Of course he does. You told him we were busy with working on the art, right? Well, I tried to, but you know how Caine can be sometimes. She gives Zooble a hopeful look, but Zooble seems pretty annoyed. Okay, good luck with that, I guess. Zooble turns to walk away, but Ragatha wasn't finished. I was hoping you could, help me, maybe? Zooble turns, giving Ragatha an irritated look. Well, you could, you know. She gives me a gesture with her hands. Absolutely not. Wait, whoa. Let me go back there for a second. Wait. Zooble turns, giving Ragatha an irritated look. You could, you know. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Why am I so dumb right now? Zooble turns, giving Ragatha an irritated. What am I doing right now? Ah! Okay, so Ragatha wants Zooble to help her with the music. Irritation beginning to blossom into genuine contempt as Ragatha insists on the compromise. Come on, Zooble, please. Well, I have had enough of pretending I can't hear this conversation. Hey, Zooble, what's Ragatha talking about? Zooble's eyes narrow for a moment, glaring at Ragatha before turning to me. Well, she wants me to... They paused a moment before heaving an annoyed sigh. She wants me to play the drums for the school festival. Oh, she could play the drums? You play drums? Before Zooble can respond, Ragatha interjects. Yes, Zooble's very good. Ragatha offers Zooble a sweet smile. And I'm not playing them. Zooble turns to Ragatha. Besides, Ragatha can take care of herself if she plays violin or something like that. Cello, actually. Ragatha says, kicking the ground and clearly a bit disappointed. Well, we can work something together here, you know. I play the piano, and Gangle... I turn to Gangle, who's watching all of his single eyebrow look... Ah! Gangle plays something too, right? No, Gangle doesn't play anything, Gangle says, withdrawing into herself. I shrug. Well, we can still do something like piano, drums, and a cello, right? Ragatha nods with unrestrained enthusiasm, turning to face... Zooble! We can totally do something like that. Great idea, Gotti. Zooble seems a bit skeptical. But, Gangle, you know, it isn't fair for us to just abandon her to take care of the art alone, right? Well, I can always do art for the practice, she offers, a timid smile to Ragatha. I'll just bring my supplies. Okay, so we're gonna practice music while Gangle is drawing on the side. Zooble's eyes go wide, realizing they are now at risk of being pulled into this live music endeavor. I mean, surely we can't. Thank you for understanding, Gangle. This is going to be so much fun. Ragatha walks over to Zooble, swooning at the thought of performing live music as a trio. Whoa! Ragatha wastes no time, taking Zooble and I by our wrists as she heads to the room decorated by various clefs and notes stylized like a sheet of music. Gangle follows them with a timid smile, lunging at a cart of art supplies. When Ragatha opens the door, I can see a piano set up against the wall. In the corner, a sparky red drum set sits. What? Zooble's eyes widened for a moment. Oh, I'm honestly surprised that they have a drum set in the first place. Ragatha nods, excited, before whispering to me. Yeah, I had to ask Caine for that. I make my way, running my fingers through the keys. It has been a while since I played. Zooble sits down at the drum set, hesitant. Gangle finds an empty desk, sitting her papers down and starting on her art. I press a few keys and practice a few chords, and Zooble prods the cymbals on her kit with a drum stick. So, we were thinking of doing an original song. I know I've been thinking of... Zooble lifts their drumstick up, striking their cymbal so hard that Ragatha leaps in surprise. Oh, good to see that you're interested now, Zooble. So I was thinking of... Zooble launches into a heavy drum beat. Oh my gosh. Steadily pounding the bass drum as they strike the cymbal. I was thinking of... She tries to shout over the drums but gives up. But to be honest, I really like the beat that Zooble is laying down. I start playing a few chords to accompany it. Ragatha gives us a hesitant look before shrugging, pulling over her bow across her cello to improvise a melody to match the chords I'm playing. We're all putting energy into the performance, but Ragatha's melody doesn't really match with my chord progression very well, and sometimes Zooble launches over into an improvised solo. We finished as I turned back to a googly goo. I turned back to Zooble. So, how was that? I say, trying to inject some confidence into my voice. Gangle offers an apologetic smile. That was, She pauses a moment and then finds the word she was looking for with a wide smile. That was really a good warm-up. Oh my gosh, yeah, that was terrible. We all exchanged a look. Ragatha looks a bit more optimistic than myself or Zooble. Hey, not a bad warm-up. That's pretty good, right? Maybe we can base it off something like what we just did then? Before Zooble or I can provide our own feedback, Ragatha begins to play a classical style melody on her cello. I look back at Zooble, who shrugs before picking up their drumstick, improvising a beat to match the tempo of Ragatha's playing. I wait a bit before getting a feel for the melody and the beat Zooble is playing before I can try to create a melody to bridge the two. But it's rough, especially because Zooble is playing their drums very loud with no regard for how they're drowning out our instruments. Ragatha has to shout to make their voice heard. Hey, Zooble! Can you maybe play a bit softer? Zooble gives Ragatha a annoyed glare. Can't you just play your cello louder? You're sort of drowning out our music. Zooble stops playing, throwing their hands up in resignation. You begged me to be here, and now it's a problem that I'm playing. I don't have to be here. I can go back to the art room, and you can play the cello with Gotti or something. Ragatha sighs as she stops playing her cello. You know, that isn't what I meant, Zooble. I just want us to... She gives me a meaningful look. Work together, right, Gotti? Zooble heaves an annoyed sigh of their own. I don't know what you want me to do. The drums are a loud instrument, Ragatha. It's just a bit, intense. How about Gotti and me start, and then you can join in. I have a bad feeling about this, but I go along with Ragatha's request, waiting for her melody again before matching it with a good chord progression. The song isn't the best thing I've heard, but it sounds a bit classical. Once I'm comfortable with the chord progression, I cast out a look at Zooble, who seems irritated and bored. So, what do you think about this? Ragatha offers, trying to be helpful but oblivious to Zooble's simming and behind the drums. Zooble shrugs. Sounds great. Seems like you two got this. Can me and Caine go back to the art room? Oh my gosh. No! She just leaves! Zooble stands up, walking to the door. Gangle pauses a moment. Come on, Gangle. Oh, that was Zooble talking. Anyway, Gangle makes their way over, avoiding eye contact. Wait, Zooble! Zooble slams the door behind themselves and Gangle leaves the room. Dude, how did we end up trying to go after Zooble, and somehow Zooble and Gangle still stick together, and somehow I ended up with Ragatha again? Like, how is this even real? Ragatha shakes her head. What do we do now, Gotti? I'll talk to Zooble. Maybe we should keep practicing. Okay, here's what I want to say. I really... You guys might get mad at me here. I know we're supposed to be pursuing Zooble, but like... I kind of want to see what happens if we just completely disregard Zooble and keep going with Ragatha. Like, I really want to see what happens, because I have a feeling it's going to end horribly, and I want to see how it goes. Maybe we should just keep practicing. Zooble pauses a moment, but then nods. No time for distractions. Ragatha plays the sonata I'm somewhat familiar with, and I play the associated harmony with my piano. We even managed to improvise a bit of play off one another's energy. See, now I'm about to end up with Ragatha. Before I know an hour has passed, I send a message to Zooble on my wacky watch, asking if they want to meet up before we return to the dorms and go back to playing. When we finally stop playing, it's dark outside. Oh no. Wow, it's pretty late, huh? Bro, how did I end up with Ragatha again? Thanks for playing so well. Thanks for staying so late with me, Gotti. Of course. If you see Zooble at all, maybe you could convince them to join us, she says with a fragile smile. I nod. We pack up and then we leave. I peer into the art classroom on the way out, but the lights are off and it's empty. Maybe I should have talked to Zooble. The way I head back to the dorms promises to be cold and lonely. Oh, brother. When I finally get back to my dorms, I check my wacky watch, not expecting anything. Yet, to my surprise, I have a text from Zooble waiting for me. Yo, you doing anything? Thankfully, choosing to spend time with rehearsing Radicata didn't completely destroy our friendship. Nah, what's up? Okay, for a second there, I really did think that if we just completely, you know what's crazy? I think if we talked to her, she would have came back and we would have finished playing, which is why I kind of feel stupid for actually walking away, but I really just wanted to see what was going to happen. Want to hang out in my dorm? What? For a second, wait, what? Okay, I was not expecting that whatsoever, dude. I knock on the dorm door. I only wait a few seconds before it feels like forever. The door creaks open. Hey, they wave. Hi. I stand there for a few seconds before Zooble opens the door a bit wider. So, you coming in or? Oh, right. Yeah, I'm coming in. I step inside. Whoa, this is their room? The room is illuminated by neon lights. Zooble's bag is sitting on the floor open with some books laying on the floor. It looks like they just got back. Sorry about not waiting up. Gangle wanted to come back and watch some ninja show. Zooble rolls their eyes. It's cool. Zooble picks up the bag, sliding the books back into it before... Why am I skipping? I didn't even read what that said. Sliding the books back into it before tossing it into their closet. I noticed a box with some lettering on it poking out of Zooble's closet. What's in the box? Zooble looks down, looking a bit surprised before pulling the box out. Oh, these are my spare parts. They say like it's an ordinary thing to just have lying around. Spare parts. Yeah, basically my limbs and stuff are kinda... They pause a moment to think. I can swap them around. Can I see? I say before I can stop myself. I mean, if you want to, if you're okay with that, I mean. I offer apologetically. Zooble looks down, thanking him for a moment before blushing. Yeah, sure, if you want to. As Zooble finishes pulling up a box out of the closet, I can see the lettering on the side spelling out the word ZOOBLE'S. What? Go crazy, I guess. I get on my knees and start digging into the box, sorting through the seemingly endless assortment of collars and extremities. Zooble sits down watching me. I reach in and pull out a plastic yellow arm, holding it up inquisitively. That can go on my head, actually. They say, taking the arrow from my hand. Without a word, Zooble pulls their little lightning bolt out of their head. They affix the arrow in its place. Whoa, what the heck? Like this. Whoa. I'm awestruck for a moment, and then I ask, can you do that with all the parts of your body? Mostly. It takes a little tugging for some of my parts, though. Check out this piece, I say, pulling out a piece shaped like a bat wing. This one is so cool. You think? They say, looking at me before plucking the wing off their back and putting the bat wing in its place. Whoa. As I keep looking, I find an oversized spotted green... Oh, wait, what? As I keep looking, I find an oversized spotted green arm. This one is wild. Frog arm. Too big for me to use very often. I put it back into the box and keep looking. I wonder if Zooble has tried on every piece in this box before. Wow, a lot of striped ones in here. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with that. I guess Caine thinks I'd look cooler if I was a zebra or something. They snort and I laugh along with them. I find a large tentacle-shaped appendage. Any fun stories with this one? Zooble blushes. I don't know anything about that one. They turn and look away. Maybe Caine wanted to do some underwater adventure. I wore it out once, but Gangle was sort of weird about it. I'm not really sure what they mean by that, so I just shrug and put it back. Yeah, I don't really want to know what you guys were up to, dude. I find a large 4-pointed star-like shape and hold it up, puzzling over it. This one looks way too big for a head accessory. Oh yeah, that's actually that one's a chest piece. What? Yeah, I don't really use these ones very often because the uniforms Caine gave us doesn't really fit along with them. But before I can protest, Zooble begins to unbutton their uniform. Whoa! I can't help but blush. I knew Zooble and I were getting close, but I still peer between my fingers. Zooble rolls their eyes. Underneath their uniform is featureless spotted body, vaguely bean-shaped, that they pull out of their uniform and replace it with the star, like this. They sigh. You can see, God, it's not like I'm showing you the goods or something. I still can't help but blush. This is the furthest I've ever gone with anyone else. Zooble removes their chest piece and buttons their shirt up again. Wow, that's so cool. It's really neat that you have so many parts you can just swap out. I wish I could swap my arm for like a chainsaw or something, I say, making a swooshing noise. Zooble rolls their eyes. Well, I'm glad you think it's cool, they say, sounding a bit annoyed as they swap back their arm and starting to put back spare parts. Oh, I paused. Did I say something? It's just... They stopped themselves. Never mind. It feels like all this energy went out the room. Hey, Zooble. I turn to face him. I'm sorry. Zooble looks at me flustered. What are you even sorry for? Why are you saying that? I don't know, I admit, but I feel like I said something wrong and I really didn't mean to upset you. Zooble blushes a bit. Can I tell you something? I nod. It's stupid. And I haven't told anyone about this before. They pause, except for Caine, and he doesn't really listen to me, so he doesn't count. But, they hesitate before sighing and looking me in the eyes. I hate this body. What? I hate how silly I look, and it just comes apart and comes back together. They begin pointing all the parts of themselves. I hate this dumb oversized eye and the weird bendy limbs, and how there's so many parts in this box, but their eyes cloud and their voice becomes uncertain. None of it feels right. I'm in utter shock. Zooble, you remember how I told you I used to skip classes? I nod. I just couldn't get myself out of the room. I would just stare in the mirror for hours, swapping parts out, hoping something would. They curl in on themselves, wrapping their arms around their knees. Oh my gosh. I immediately regret asking them and to try. I immediately regret asking them to swap their parts. I'm so sorry, Zooble. I had no idea. I glanced back at the box of Zooble's parts. A spare eye seems to stare back at me with accusation. I never felt so low. I can't believe I asked you to. Zooble shakes their head, putting a hand on my shoulder. Trust me, Gotti. You didn't ask me to do anything I haven't done 12 times before, or anything I wasn't comfortable doing in front of you. Honestly, that was the first time someone told me that they thought my parts were cool. I smiled back at them, helping them push the box back into the closet. Want to do something else? I nod. What did you have in mind? How about the henna tattoo? Didn't you say the ink or something what needed to be done in advance to prepare? Zooble nods, producing the ink from a desk drawer. I did, but I prepped ahead of time just in case you ever wanted to come over and hang out. They look me up and down. So, where did you want to put the tattoo? I pause and for a moment. How about like on the back of my shoulder? Zooble shrugs. Sounds good to me. Did you have any cool ideas? Zooble nods, showing me an array of stencils they use for the henna dye. Any of these speak to you? Whoa. Oh, we get to actually pick? Okay, obviously, I think we could all agree that if I was gonna have a fish or a dragon on me, I think everyone knows we're not picking the fish. Like, who's... Hey, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone, but like, come on, dude. We gotta go with the dragon. Zooble looks over to the boombox on the floor after I pick up a stencil, putting on some relaxing music as they get their supplies ready. Even though I had to strip down after getting soaked this morning, I'm still a little shy as I take off my top for Zooble. Zooble gets the stencil against my back of my shoulder, and before dipping their brush in the ink and applying it, I let out an involuntary shiver. So cold. Come on, Gotti, if you move, you're gonna mess up the tattoo. Sorry. After I get used to the coolness of the pace, it actually feels kinda good. Zooble is quiet, completely focused on the tattoo as they work behind me. I'm grateful for the relaxing music that fills the silence, but they try to come up with something to talk about. Wow, yeah, I try and come up with something to talk about. So you used to be a bartender and also became a tattoo artist. What kind of other jobs have you done before this? Well, I technically used to work at Spud Seeds for a day, but I don't really count that. They pause. I wanted to go back to school, but life had other plans. There's a moment of silence before I can think of another question. Well, do you have any other hobbies? When did you pick up the drums? I was a kid when I started playing drums, they say, going quiet for a moment as they focus on a specific part of the stencil before continuing. Aside from that, I guess I used to check out my abandoned buildings, but mostly it was just drums. The more I learn about Zooble, I feel like I'm impressed by them. It's like every new thing I learn about Zooble makes them exponentially cooler, even if they don't see themselves that way. You were really good at the drums earlier. Did you play for a band? Yeah, we really never made it out of my parents' garage, but we did a bunch of punk and hardcore stuff like that. I really liked it. If you'd come back tomorrow, I bet we could get something really amazing for the festival on Friday. They pause again before they reply. It's a bit quieter than before. Maybe. Okay, so I'm trying to talk them into, like, you know, working with us with Ragatha on the song. So what about you? What do you do for fun, Gotti? I think about it for a moment. Well, I used to play the piano a bit, and sometimes I like to watch anime. Okay, that's like the complete opposite of me, bro. I don't do any of those things. I trail off, but that's it. And there doesn't seem to be all that much to do on school grounds, so I guess I wouldn't really do much with my free times anyway these days. Yeah, tell me about it. Sometimes I get bored. I feel like I'm going crazy. I nod. Totally. If I didn't have you and Gangle to talk to, I feel like I would have gone crazy already. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that you don't hang out together more often. I feel so lonely when I'm alone in my room. But when I have some spare time to hang out with anyone else, the school doesn't seem that bad. There's a quiet moment as Zooble finishes up the tattoo. Alright, done and done. You need to let it sit for a minute. The longer you leave it alone, the darker it'll come out, and the longer it'll last. You'll just have to rinse it off when it's dark enough for you. I nod. I wish I could see it now, but I bet it looks epic. Zooble rustles around their room for a moment before holding a mirror to me, angling it so I can see the tattoo. Here, look. Whoa, that's amazing, Zooble. I'll be super careful with it so it doesn't smudge. I start regretting that henna is temporary. I'd love to have some of your art on me permanently. Zooble looks away in the mirror. I can see them blushing behind me. Well, you know, that's very nice of you to say. We both sit there and neither of us really know how to break the awkward silence that has settled between us when an unexpected third party does it for us. What? Caine? Well, what's going on in here? He pops into existence over my left shoulder. Zooble and I almost jump out of our skin. Caine, what are you doing here? The real question is, why is a shirtless Gotti doing in your room past curfew? Oh yeah, we're not supposed to be in the same dorms together, he says, leading towards Zooble as he pokes the Caine in their face. You of all people know we shouldn't. We have to adhere to a strict PG rating, so I can't let either of you two hormonal students go far any further. Zooble and I exchange a look, blushing furiously. Caine, shut up! We weren't doing anything. Yeah, Caine, it's not like that. We were just... Zooble and I stumble over each other's words as we try to clarify that nothing dirty was happening. Sorry, I can't risk anything. The FCC will have my hat if I let this go on any further. He adjusts the top that he's wearing. And nobody likes it. And nobody takes my hat. I don't know how to say that, dude. By God, he grins. In an instant, I'm transported to my own room. I check the mirror. Whatever Caine did, thankfully, didn't smudge the tattoo. Once I'm in one piece, I shoot a text over to Zooble. Caine still there? There's a moment before she responds. Finally got him out of here. Sorry about that. It's not your fault. At least the tattoo still looks cool. I'm glad to hear about that. Try not to smudge it for the next couple hours. Well, I'll see you tomorrow then. See you. The afternoon was a lot of fun. Spending time was a lot of fun, and I go to sleep. Okay, so, you know what? I really thought it was gonna mess up there when we abandoned her to keep playing with Ragatha. Like, I did not think that any of that was gonna go down the way it did. But it still went great, and we still got that tattoo. I kind of do want to know what would happen if we went after her to try and talk to her into playing music. She probably would have just came back and kept playing music, and then everything probably would not have gone the same because we probably would have actually walked home with her instead and gangled too. So yeah, that's kind of insane to think about. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. And I think the last no. Yes, completed day 3. We're going to day 4, and there's still okay. For some reason, I thought we were about to be done. So anyway, I'll see. I want to say our names. Wait, no. Wait, hold on a second. No. Yeah, there's 2 days left. Okay, I'm losing my mind for a second there. Anyway, I'll still want to say our names. See you on this way. Gone.